Well, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys for joining each and every time you guys do decide to join me. I got another one for you today. Yeah, man, we got some paintings on the wall. I'm kind of in a graffiti district, and I felt like this is a good place to have a video. I'm kind of away from everything, but there's a big party going on just like a few feet away. So I hope I don't get distracted with the music and the food over there, but I'm gonna get you guys through it. Remember, countdown to 2025, countdown to more Road Glide content. The Roadking content will still be there, but it will be more along the lines of, you know, kind of getting back on that Road Glide. I know that was the one that brought you guys to the channel, and I want to keep you guys watching and waiting and seeing what I did to that Road Glide. But let's get through this. Well, today's video is going to be my most used items, my favorite items, all tied into one, related to Harleys, okay? Some of them are on this bike, some of them not on this bike, but at the same time, they all help make this bike just that much more comfortable for me, or just that much more easier for me to maintain and ride, okay? So that's gonna be the thing for today. Guys, I wanna start out by saying shout out to everybody who helped with any parts that I go over with this bike. I'm gonna try to drop the links down in the description of all the parts that I'm gonna go over, but let's get started. So just count down from number 5, and in no particular order. I just want to start with number 5, and number 5 is probably one of those items that I've always told you everybody needs, and it's a tour pack. Now, I wouldn't have brought this up if I didn't realize how much a tour pack really helps at the end of the day. Remember, guys, I got a Chop tour pack here. I have a King tour pack on my Road Glide, but just having a tour pack on, especially your daily rider, is very, very helpful. This one in particular is from Avan Black, color matched to the bike, mineral green denim. They really helped out, so shout out to them. Back pad, they gave me pretty much everything to do an install for you guys. Go back in previous videos and you'll see the install. But let's talk about it. When you go out for your rides now, guys, let's say you don't know where you're going. You might be going far, you might be going short, it might be an hour, it might be 4 hours, you know, you're out having a good time and a good day. Me, I don't like to have a lot of things rattling around in my tour pack. I don't like parts sliding around when I'm accelerating, when I'm stopping, I'm hearing things bumping booze, and you know, you keep a camera in there, now your camera's all beat up. You don't need things like that. So I kind of get away from my saddlebags, and 90% of the time my saddlebags are empty, guys. Being honest with you, I don't like to carry a lot of things in the saddlebag. So if I know I'm going somewhere, I'm slapping the tour pack on. But the thing is, the tour pack hasn't really come off this bike since I've gotten the tour pack. Yeah, as soon as I put it on, it kind of like locked in for me, and I was like, yeah, well, what's the point of me taking it off unless I got to get down to business. There's so much stuff I got in the tour pack, guys. I really don't want to go over it right now, maybe in another video, but there's so many things in here. When I do take my ride, I feel like I'm kind of a little bit more carefree. I'm not worried about things happening, because if they do happen, I'm already prepared. So number 5 is the tour pack. Get yourself one if you don't have one. Go watch my previous video on why I picked a Chop tour pack for this bike, and we're gonna move on to number 4. Now, guys, number 4 is important because you have to keep these bikes maintained. You have to keep your tire pressure right. You have to check that type of stuff before you leave the house. And an item that I made sure I picked up was a easy to use tire inflator. I'll put a link down in the description for this especially. Now, this is before I leave the house. If I've already left the house, I do have my emergency inflator always available. This one's just a cheapie because this is only for emergencies only. This is not to be used before I leave the house. I'll use this for that. This one's been tried and true, beat up. I've used it on, you know, a lot of different applications, a lot of different, my car, my bike, you know, all those different things. But this one is emergency use only. It has a flashlight, has a SOS light, has a bunch of different things, and it has a tire gauge monitor on here. So you put however much pressure you want in a tire, start it up, and then it's off to the races. Now, what I will tell you is this is just not going to be something you want to use at the house all the time to try and maintain a bike. I wouldn't do it if I were you, but sure you can. I'm not promoting this brand by any means. It does have a charger on the back, so if you needed to charge your phone, your flashlight, and the brand. This one, like I said, I don't I don't condone this one, but if you need to get one, just go out and grab your $40 or something like that for this one. But maintain your tire pressure, because that kind of saves the life of your tires. And if you don't do it, it will mess the ride up. You're going to be wondering why you're out there wobbly. You're going to be wondering why, you don't feel that the bike is as stable as it usually is. But that's just one of those things that come with maintaining any motorcycle altogether, making sure tire pressure is on point so you can go out and enjoy the ride. Now, number three is one of the most recent parts that I put on the bike. This one is actually on the bike, and it's my headlight. Guys, you never really understand how much different headlights are until you put something different on your bike, and now you're out on the road and you're really seeing how these headlights perform. Now, when I say perform, I believe these headlights are performance headlights. A lot of guys with the performance baggers are running the Baja design lights, and I had to just jump on board, because once I would see a lot of the guys with the Baja lights, you would be blinded. It was one of those things where it's the brightest, the brand's good, that you're not gonna have any issues because of how the history is on Baja Designs and the quality of the product they make. Now I'm gonna turn mine on, guys, because I want you guys to see for previous videos, that's been a thing for a lot of guys, and I'm sure, and I'm not even dead on you guys, but I want to show how bright this light actually is. Put it like this: one of my turn signals, right, is pretty much as bright as some people's headlights, and even on when they have the high beams on, just one of my turn signals, okay? So when you put two of these S1 lights on a bike, they're pretty bright, they're lighting up the road. Then when you put the headlight on, it's even more of just a clear view of what you're doing. This amber color cuts light in half. You can have light coming in, the amber cuts right through the light. So if you see and you're riding past telephone poles and they have the light down, well, this just blocks those lights out and takes over the road. I was on the highway, and I was wondering why the sign, I'm in the far left lane and we're on 5-6 lane highway. I'm wondering why the sign on the far right is yellow. Well, here we go, because we're lighting up the whole road. It doesn't play the radio. I turned the high beams on just to see, and it probably shot out 100 foot of a straight beam. I didn't know it was that much of a difference when you turned on the high beams. I really didn't know. I never tried it before, but once I did, guys, it was like, yeah, that's why it's the truth, and probably one of the most popular lights. So let's move on to number two. All right, now number two, guys, you all understand how much I like music on my bikes, man. My Road Glide has a pretty good sound system on it, but the Roadking doesn't have any music at all. And it took me a long time to kind of convince myself to not put a sound system on this bike. I want to keep it how it is. And it's not that I'm gonna lose bag space. It's not any of those things. I just didn't want to weigh this bike down anymore. I want it to be as free as it can be and as nimble as it can be, and still keep me ahead of the pack. So no extra weight on it. We didn't do that, but what I did do is upgrade one more time. The Cardo Pack Talk Neo. Guys, I already have the Cardo Pack Talk Black on another helmet. That's pretty much the same as this one. But I bought another helmet, put the Pack Talk Neo on it, and you guys know JBL sound system in this helmet. Sounds good. You turn it all the way up, you can't hear the guy next to you. So, be careful when you're doing something like that anyway. But, to get away from having to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever your budget allows, but to get away from that, you spend $200-300 on a Cardo or something that's quality of a comm system, have that surround sound, and be able to enjoy your ride. Sometimes I want music, sometimes I don't want music. And if I don't want it, I just turn it down. And I still have my option if I need to get on a phone. Perfect. I didn't go over a video this year on it, but I did buy it this year. I went on a video for 2023. I talked about the Cardo Pack Talk Black when I first got it. This one's pretty much the same, maybe a little bit higher quality in the sound. Nothing major, but if you don't have one, get yourself one. I'm not gonna tell you which one to get. I'm just telling you which one I run. Now for the last and final, number one. So now I'm gonna tell you what number one is. And first of all, shout out to All American Cycles George, because he's the key to number one, and that's the engine build. Yes, guys, the engine build. I've always told you guys, what keeps me on a bike is the excitement and the fun. I don't do a lot of long distance riding because it's just not my style. I like more of A to B, or I like to get somewhere quickly. So the engine is 130 cubic inch, all-American cycle built, 170 horsepower, 160 foot-pound of torque, somewhere around in there. It probably will give me a little bit more power now because the weather's a lot better. I did that build in the summer when, like I said, most people will build in the winter. I built in the summer. 170 horsepower and 160 foot-pound of torque of pretty much good muscle, man. I mean, the bike is extremely quick. I've drag raced the bike. I've highway ridden hours on a trip, and it never lets me down. It's as crispy as the day it was built. I don't have any issues with this bike, never have. No oil blow by, no oil leaking in the garage, nothing like that. But when I did do the build, remember guys, I always try to use the best components I can find. And I let George have full control. I don't need to ask questions. I give him the bike. I tell him what's going on. He knows how I ride. He knows pretty much what I want, because we're pretty much on the same page when it comes to things like that. We want to be able to say, all right, this is a highway bully. I'm in the back of the line. I'm in the back of the pack riding with the guys. Now I want to go to the front. It takes me no time. You know, George understood the assignment. We'll say it that way. And he produced exactly what I wanted with this bike. Now, when a bike stops, you know, exciting me, and when I feel like a bike isn't as rowdy as I like my bike, then, you know, that's when it's time to do a rebuild and kind of like move on to the next step. But this bike here, I mean, from what it has and what it's shown me, yeah, it's gonna be one of the ones that stick around for a while. Maintenance is done regular on this motor, so the engine sounds like a stock engine, a crispy stock engine with a cam in it. But when you get back to the exhaust, that's when you guys start to notice the difference and kind of feel how much power this has. Now, I don't like cold starts, guys. I don't know if you know that, but cold starts to me kind of like muffle or disguise what the real sound of the bike is. It gives it a much higher pitch. I like for a bike to be already warm and then give you the sound of what it's gonna ride around with, and especially when the bike sits in heat. That's what you wanna know. So I'm gonna move you to the back of the bike, guys, and we're gonna start it up. So let's turn it on. Yeah, we're not close to the bike. Let's try to move around and get the sound somewhere else. Well, guys, you can tell me what you think about that. I just wanted to kind of break down a lot of the things that I use on the regular. I'm very happy with, and just things that I feel like overall needed to be talked about in 2024 on a bike like this. Guys, remember, everything I did to the Roadking, you can do to your Street Glide, you can do to your Road Glide. Shout out to all the people who really helped with this bike. I appreciate it. They usually, you know, they put up with me, and they really, you know, are all good guys. Shout out to all the other sponsors that I'm going to be working with this year, that are going to help out with a few things. That a little trick that we got up our sleeve. But I appreciate you guys the most, because you've been making the channel really grow, especially my 2024 year has really blossomed. And I appreciate that, guys, for real. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share these videos with other riders. I do a lot of content for the new riders as well. So until the next time, guys, you can drop all your comments down in the comment section or hit me on the Real Official Mac. But peace.